Greetings. Today we are going to introduce everything about moving cameras and animating them, including making a fly-through, camera transitions and following a character. Here you can see the scene that I am going to work with. It is a simple building preset that is built in the DAZ Studio, and a Victoria 8 standing in one of the rooms. Let's begin our tutorial with a fly-through. Starting position would be this corner in the far room. Position your viewport however you want. And then click on the Create New Camera button. Here select Copy Active View, so camera would appear in the current place of your viewport. Before moving forward, let's talk about moving your view around, because we will need to move it a lot to position camera however we want. You already saw how I moved the view. I have used the keyboard navigation and scene navigation options. While the keyboard navigation is active, you can use your keyboard to move around, similar to how you would do in video games. W is forward, S, backwards, D, right and A, left, Q and E for up and down. The scene navigation allows you to rotate your view similar to games. Just click and drag anywhere in the viewport to change the direction you are looking at. These tools should help you to position the view in the right location. Though this does not mean that you must use these tools for navigation. Feel free to use the regular orbit, panning and zoom functions if you like them better. Now we need to position the camera using these techniques. Firstly, change to the camera view. A good idea would be to turn on the thirds guide and aspect frame. They will help to see what are you pointing at, and position the camera better. For example, now I can see that my camera is pointing at quite random place. And I can move it a little so it would be pointing right at the door instead. I have made it so the middle rectangle from the thirds guide would capture center of the door. Next, it would also be a good idea to create a keyframe. So we would save the current position of a camera. Make sure that you are creating this key at the start of animation. Also make sure that in the Scene tab, the camera is selected. We have a start keyframe and now we'll create an end keyframe next. But 30 frames is too few. At 30 frames per second it is only a 1 second. So I will increase the total number of frames to 101. The animation would be a bit longer than 3 seconds now. Don't forget to move the playhead, or you will override your current keyframe. And now it is time to move the camera. Place it somewhere you like. The place where you plan to end an animation. I want to end at the room where I have a character posing. You can also see that I have aligned it so the line from the thirds guide is positioned on top of the character. DAZ Studio have created a keyframe automatically, but I still recommend you to press the button yourself anyway. It is the time to hit the play button and see the animation. It looks pretty much as expected. Camera goes right from the first room into another, rotating on its way, and going right through the walls. If you open parameters window, we can notice how translate and rotate values change with each frame. You can see them changing until they stop at the end values. You can also change these parameters if you want to. For example, I can round up some rotation values. And then use translate to compensate for that. So the character would still be on the guide crossings. Gladly this does not happen to me, but right now I want to show you the problem that you may meet. After using keyboard and scene navigation tools to create 2 keyframes for your camera, it may happen that the camera rotates on its way, even though you did not plan for that to happen. To fix that, you need to take a closer look at the rotation values on your start frame and on the end frame too, to compare them. I can notice that Z rotate was 0 and changed to -359. So it is almost at the same location, as 360-degree rotation changes back to 0. And while using scene navigation, DAZ Studio bugged out like that. All I need to do is change the Z rotation to match my previous rotation. And the animation is fixed. So if you encounter this bug, just take a close look at the rotation values and experiment with them. Back to our scene. Now it is time to add more keyframes that will decide how our fly-through will go. First, I want a key in the middle of animation, on frame 50. Right now frame 50 looks weird, camera is pointing to nowhere basically. Instead of that, I want it to point at the door that it will go through. So I will move and rotate it a bit and make it point at the door. After these changes, animation plays out accordingly. Next, I want to add more keyframes, especially at the beginning of animation, because here camera goes through the wall and that is not great. Instead of that, on frame 20 I will position it pointing right at the door. But then it still moves through the wall anyway. So I will also add another location on frame 30 just behind the door, pointing around the corner. And now camera moves through the door window instead of a wall. After that it moves to the next key location with no problems. Perfect. Now between the frame 50 and frame 100 I can see that camera again moves through the wall. It moves in the wall around frame 70. So I will take the frame after that, frame 75, and change the position of camera a bit. We'll move it right after the door, without changing the rotation too much. Finally we can see the whole fly-through animation. Camera does not move through the walls anymore. Instead it moves through the doors and follows the corridors, and stops right where I want it, without any problems. Let's look at it a bit slower too. See all the details and whether there are no problems with it. I quite like it, looks good. Character is where it's supposed to be too. To the next part now. I have changed the scene a bit. Now after the initial 100 frames of a fly-through, we also have a sequence with the character taking a walk around the room. I will make the range to start on a frame 100. Not to see the fly-through each time I press play. It is still there, we just don't work with it for now. You can notice the problem with this sequence is that the camera does not follow the character at all. It enters from one end of the camera and then exits on the second and we can't see her anymore. How can we fix that? The simple solution is just to add keyframes. So we will start following our character. Then skip a few frames and move the camera. Repeat the process until the animation is done. And it kind of works. Except for the bug that I was talking about earlier. Anyway, let's see what is the other solution to this situation. Instead of manually creating keyframes, we can track our character. For this, go either into the Cameras or Parameters window, and find the Constraints section under the General. Here we have the only setting, Point At. With the camera selected we can make it point at something specific. For example, at Out Character. Instead it points at the character's origin point, which is at the bottom. So it does not work. But there is a simple solution. All you need to do is not select the character themselves, but their bones instead. You can specify whatever bone you want to be pointed at. So you can focus on the hands, legs, head or anything basically. I want to focus on the character in general, so chest upper fits perfectly. Right away we see camera snapping to the character's chest. And when I press play, it automatically follows the character, I don't need to do anything. The whole animation is now in the camera frame. This does not create keyframes too. So you can also combine this technique with moving camera. Meaning that you can move the camera to other place and it still will be following the character. You can see on my example how I added 2 keyframes in different places. And now my camera moves closer to the character and follows her path. All this sounds wonderful. But there is a huge downside of the point at technique. If I will return the whole animation range and play it from the beginning, you should see the problem. The camera does not move as we animated it before. It is pointing at the character at all times, even when it is far away. And you can't control this. You can't animate turning off pointing onto something. It either points or it does not. A small word about point at setting before we see how we can handle that situation. You can use this function not only to point camera at something, but just to point anything at anything. For example, we can make it vice versa and force the character to look at the camera. All you need to do is select an eye of the character. Go to the parameters, constraints, and make it point at the camera. Repeat for another eye. Don't forget to change to the camera view. And now eyes will follow the camera at all times. Back to the original scene. We had a problem here. So what can you do if you want to track the character, but also make a fly-through? The answer would be camera transitions. I will reverse the point at setting back to none option. Change to the perspective view. And place it however I like. Now I can add another camera with copy active view. This camera does not have any keyframes and does not move at all. So I can use it to make it point at the character instead of the camera that makes a fly-through. Selecting the right bone. And it is done. Now it follows the character. As previously mentioned, we can add movement keyframes also to make the sequence more interesting. It will still track the character. There is a small movement on frames 0 to 100, but the main part begins from frame 100 anyway. But this movement happens because of the key that was automatically created on frame 0. Delete it and now it works as it should. So what you need to do to render this whole animation, as we are using 2 cameras. First of all, go to the render settings, General. Here we need to change the render type. I highly recommend image series render type for this. With it you can control which frames do you render. So I will select frames from 0 to 100 and render this on camera 1. And then select frames from 100 to 217 and render it on camera 2. In the end I will have 2 animations. One of the camera making a fly-through in the building. And the second one of the camera that follows the moving character. Using third-party software, and can use these 2 animations and combine them to create one video. But there is also another way of creating transitions that uses a single camera instead of 2. For it you need to create a keyframe right before the transition. Then change right to the next frame. And position camera to where you would want the transition to be. Camera will literally teleport from one place to another, which will create a feeling of transition. It goes in the wall later, so I will add another transition like this. On animation we can see that it worked. First we transition behind the window and then back in the room. Sadly, this transition is too quick and looks a bit silly. But I am sure that you understood the purpose of this technique. Now we can see basically the final animation. I did not render it out in Iray. Instead showing it using filament. Just for you to see how different techniques that we introduced today look. And you could decide which ones do you like the most. If you want to learn more about DAZ Studio and 3D design in general, I recommend you to visit our website, renderguide.com. Here you can find such articles as DAZ Studio Animation Tutorial, Step by Step, on which this video is based. So you can read more about DAZ camera animation. Or want to learn more about all the tips and tricks that we introduced today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get more inspiration.